Imagine holding the entire history of planet Earth in your hands, like a giant ancient book. Now, flip through its pages. You'd see continents drift, mountains rise, and empires fall. But you'd also see chapters written in fire, water, and fury. These are the stories of nature's raw, untamable power, the biggest natural disasters in history. What if I told you that the most destructive event wasn't an asteroid or a supervolcano, but something far more insidious, something that quietly wiped out nearly all life on Earth? Stick around, because we're about to count down the cataclysms that have shaped our world, and the number one spot will change the way you see our planet forever. Let's start our journey with something we all fear: earthquakes. We often think of the San Francisco quake of 1906 or the 2011 Japan earthquake as massive, and they were. But they're just tremors compared to the Valdivia earthquake in Chile in 1960. Clocking in at a mind-boggling 9.5 on the Richter scale, it is the most powerful earthquake ever recorded. Imagine the ground shaking so violently that it triggers tsunamis across the entire Pacific Ocean, with waves hitting Hawaii, Japan, and the Philippines. The quake itself was so strong, it literally caused the entire planet to wobble on its axis. The energy released was equivalent to thousands of atomic bombs. Survivors described the ground roaring and heaving like a furious beast for a full 10 minutes. This wasn't just a disaster for Chile, it was a planetary event. From the shaking Earth, let's turn to the fury of the skies. Hurricanes and typhoons are terrifying, but have you ever heard of the Bola cyclone? In 1970, this storm slammed into what is now Bangladesh. It wasn't the strongest cyclone ever recorded in terms of wind speed, but it was, without a doubt, the deadliest. The region is a low-lying delta, a network of rivers and islands barely above sea level. When the storm surge hit, it was like a wall of water, up to 33 feet high, sweeping across the land. There was nowhere to run. The official death toll is estimated at around 300,000 to 500,000 people, but many believe the true number is far higher. It's a tragedy so immense, it's hard to comprehend. The Bola cyclone showed the world the horrifying power of water when unleashed by a storm. Now let's journey back in time about 3,600 years ago to the sunny Aegean Sea. The island of Thera, now known as Santorini, was home to a flourishing Minoan civilization. They were advanced, artistic, and prosperous. Then the volcano at the heart of their island exploded. This wasn't just an eruption, it was a cataclysm. The eruption, known as the Minoan eruption, was one of the largest volcanic events in human history. It blew the center of the island to smithereens, creating the stunning caldera we see today. The explosion was so loud, it would have been heard hundreds of miles away. It triggered massive tsunamis that devastated the coast of Crete, the heart of the Minoan civilization. Ash fell as far away as Egypt. Some historians even believe this event inspired the legend of Atlantis, a powerful city suddenly swallowed by the sea. The Minoan eruption didn't just destroy an island, it may have brought down an entire Bronze Age superpower. From a single volcano, let's zoom out to a volcanic apocalypse. Around 74,000 years ago, a supervolcano in Sumatra called Toba erupted. Forget everything you think you know about volcanoes. Toba's eruption was on a completely different scale. It was a VEI 8 event, the highest possible rating. The eruption ejected so much ash and sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere that it created a volcanic winter. Global temperatures plummeted by several degrees, potentially for years. Sunlight was blocked, plants died, and ecosystems collapsed. According to the Toba catastrophe theory, this event created a genetic bottleneck in our own history. The human population may have been reduced to just a few thousand individuals, bringing our species to the very brink of extinction. Think about that. Every single person alive today could be a descendant of the few who survived the Toba supervolcano. But even a supervolcano pales in comparison to the cosmic threats lurking in our solar system. We've all heard about the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs. 66 million years ago, a rock the size of a mountain, about 6 miles wide, slammed into the planet near what is now the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. The impact was catastrophic. It released the energy of billions of nuclear bombs. It triggered global earthquakes, continent-sized firestorms, and mega tsunamis miles high. The dust and debris thrown into the atmosphere blocked out the sun, plunging the world into a long, dark winter. Photosynthesis stopped. The food chain collapsed. It wasn't a quick death. It was a slow, grim extinction event. In the end, about 75% of all species on Earth, including the non-avian dinosaurs, were gone. This event, the Chicxulub impact, literally paved the way for the rise of mammals, and eventually, us. So we've had earthquakes that shake the planet, cyclones that drown nations, volcanoes that topple civilizations, supervolcanoes that nearly extinguish humanity, and asteroids that wipe the slate clean for 75% of life. What could possibly be bigger than all of that? What disaster could make the extinction of the dinosaurs look like a minor hiccup? Welcome to the end of the Permian period, 252 million years ago. This wasn't just a bad day or a bad century for life on Earth. It was an extinction event so severe it's simply known as the Great Dying. Over a period of time, an estimated 96% of all marine species and 70% of all land vertebrate species vanished. Life on Earth came as close to being completely snuffed out as it ever has. So what caused it? It wasn't a sudden asteroid impact. The leading theory points to a volcanic event of unimaginable proportions in what is now Siberia. We're talking about the Siberian Traps, a massive region of volcanic rock. For possibly hundreds of thousands of years, volcanoes poured out enough lava to cover an area the size of Western Europe, thousands of feet deep. But it wasn't the lava that killed everything. It was the gas. These eruptions released biblical amounts of carbon dioxide and methane into the atmosphere. This triggered runaway global warming. The oceans heated up and became acidic, dissolving the shells of marine creatures. As the oceans warmed, they lost their oxygen, creating vast dead zones. On land, the acid rain would have been intense, killing forests and poisoning the soil. It was a slow, agonizing process. Imagine a world where the air is toxic, the rain burns, and the oceans are a warm, acidic soup. That was the reality during the Great Dying. The planet became almost uninhabitable. It took life on Earth nearly 10 million years to recover from this event. Every single complex life form today, from the smallest insect to the largest whale, is descended from the handful of survivors, the 4% of marine life and 30% of land life that somehow clung on. So, when we look back at the biggest disasters in history, the one that stands above them all isn't a sudden, violent crash. It's a slow, creeping catastrophe driven by massive changes in our planet's atmosphere and climate. The Great Dying is a chilling reminder of how fragile our planetary system is and how profoundly it can be altered. From the ground shaking beneath our feet to the very air we breathe, the history of our planet is a story of incredible resilience, but also of devastating destruction. And that number one spot, the Great Dying, isn't just a piece of ancient history. It's a warning from 252 million years ago, showing us what happens when a planet's life support systems are pushed past their breaking point. It truly changes how you see our world, doesn't it? Thanks for joining me on this journey through Earth's most catastrophic moments. If you found this mind-blowing, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into our amazing and sometimes terrifying world. See you in the next one.